Y'all doing? Uh, in case you were wondering, like what certain people do, what makes them, what made them do that, or you know, you see, we were in the night, and in the night, you can't work because it's night, and so that's what we're starting off with, is the fact that we were definitely in the night. You see, it's a book called Second Esdras, and I will go into these, recondite research type books, but there's people who don't understand that these books were in the initial King James 1611. And because they were taken out, their mind is in shackles, thinking that if they were meant for us to read, they would have been left in there. They just can't get over that. And so I just deal with the books that's in here. But I just want you to know that in the book of Second Esdras, chapter 6, verse 2, my bad, Second Esdras, chapter 6, verse 30, the Malachim that Esdras is talking with tells him, I come to bring you visions of the night. And so the Apostle Paul in Romans 13, he tells you, now was high time. And you will see, the apostles referring to, the high time and the daytime. And even Christ himself saying that. The book of John is very profound book. It's not like Matthew, Mark, and Luke. According to documents, Matthew was a publican. Mark was Peter's son. They were sonning people, they weren't giving birth to people. They was sons, because an elder is not a person who is old. You see, the book of Sirach explains that, that an unsullied life is the attainment of old age. So you people are calling people elders who are not elders. They're just old people. Nevertheless, Mark was under Peter, and Luke was under Paul. And as a matter of fact, when you read what Luke wrote, he addressed it to Theophilus, whatever, that's the corruption. That's how they corrupt the book, to hide what the message is, trying to hide message, so they'll misspell things on purpose, so throw you off. But the book keeps going, it's a continuity. That's why I could go through 18 different places and show you the same precept, because that's how it goes. See? And so, that's the arch writing in it. And so he wrote that to Timotheus, because Timotheus was also under Paul. See what I'm saying? So you have, Luke, who was the physician that was up under him, and then you had Timotheus, who he left in charge of certain churches and do certain jobs. And so Luke wrote to Timotheus. That's why it says the most excellent Timotheus. This is not Theophilus, but the book of John, Christ often, it begins with, he was the light, and the light spoke to the darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. This is how the book of John begins. John's a very different book. It doesn't even have time for most of the stories that the other gets into. It doesn't have time for it because it's too deep. And so he says in 4 that I must work the work of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh where no man can work. So that's John 9:4, right? Then he says, as long as I'm in the world, I'm the light of the world. Okay? So right now, everything sounds like everything. He's talking about the nighttime, and he's going to work in the daytime. It sounds real simple. So John 8:12 speaks on this wise. I'm the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. So still, everything sounds simple, right? People can get light. This is a light. See what I'm saying? Much I couldn't even read with the interior lighting of this room because the wires, but it's too dark. So it's two places. Now I'm gonna take you to something that lets you know that he's not talking about a literal night. In Isaiah 21, verse 12, it says, "The watchman said, the morning cometh, and also the night. If you will inquire ye, return, come." So before that, from verse 11, Isaiah 21, it says, "The burden of Dumah, he called it to me out of Seir. Watchman, what of the night? Watchman, what of the night? The watchman said, the morning cometh, and also the night. If you will inquire ye, return, come." So he saw the morning, then he saw the night. So I'm going to conclude. This is very short with a reading, because the first one I made was referring to cursing. If I was going to bring you near to a consuming fire, which our God is a consuming fire, if I was going to bring you near to that fire, or even near myself, to be as bold as to approach near to this fire, I would tread lightly, And so two cannot walk together unless they agree, which the book of the prophet also says. You will stop cursing. See, because you can't curse. Give you the example of the half Egyptian, half Hebrew cursing. See, the commandment says to not take the name of the Lord in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless who uses his name in vain. And I already showed numerous places, and I have showed what these profound sayings mean. Some of them. And so in the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, not Zechariah, Zephaniah, it says, "Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired." Now, I know if I have to go in depth and explain who is the nation not desired, then we're all just dumb, deaf, and blind. I'm going to start again from the top. "Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired, before the decree bring forth, before the day passes the shaft, before the fierce anger of Adonai come upon you." Adonai means Lord. "Before the day of Adonai anger come upon you, seek ye Adonai, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Seek ye righteousness, seek meekness. It may be ye shall be hid on the day of the Lord's anger. For Gaza shall be forsaken, and Ashkelon a desolation. They shall drive out Ashdod at the noonday, and Ekron shall be rooted up. Woe unto the inhabitants of the seacoast, the nations of the Seratites. The word of Adonai is against you, O Canaan, the land of the Philistines. I will even destroy thee, that there shall be no inhabitant. And the seacoast shall be dwellings and cottages for shepherds and folds for flocks. And the coast shall be for the remnant of the house of Judah. They shall feed thereon in the houses of Ashkelon, which is from Philistine. Shall they lie down in the evening, for Adonai their El shall visit them and turn away their captivity." You have to speculate the time. I don't speculate.